Next month, we would have had our 98th annual Founders Day banquet at Burdett Park. Due to the situation going on, we tried to delay it, but then ultimately made the decision we had to cancel the event. But with that being said, we still had all the funds that the board and the membership has voted on, and we wanted to get those checks out. So the board of directors have sent those out, and we still have some pending, some approval from the membership. But with that being said, we are now up to 116 different organizations, charities, not-for-profits that we have given checks to at this point in 2020. That total thus far is over $563,000. It's a substantial amount of money in comparison to what it was last year total, typically around the $230,000 to $250,000 range. Last year during the festival, ultimately the new edition of the 50-50 half pot raffle, whatever you want to call it, allowed us to grant more checks to people, and from that we would have had this large celebration at the 98th annual Founders Day, but instead we just did a news conference expressing some of the checks we did. So one of the things that we did discuss during the news conference is we have now eclipsed $6.8 million of funding we have given back to the community since 1921. So I remember a couple years ago an interview talking about how close we are to 6 million. Now we're pushing 7, and then with the continued success of everything, soon we'll be having this conversation over $10 million be given back to the community. But some of the new ones that we wanted to touch base on was the Ronald McDonald House is a new one, and President Rabin can talk a little bit more about that, but that's a $25,000 grant, and then Isaiah 117 was another $20,000 grant. So some very substantial numbers such as Youth First for $25,000, the Association for the Blind $25,000, just University of Southern Indiana, the $13,500, and then various donations under $2,500 that are close to an additional $120,000. So lots of that we do continuously every year, and then once again with the success of the half pot last year, we have been able to brighten our horizons a little bit and reach out to a little bit more.
Well, new would be like the Ronald McDonald House. Brandon mentioned that just briefly. So that's they're an extension to the Ronald McDonald House. They're adding on to make more available space for families that need to use the facility. Another one that's brand new to the community, and for sure brand new to the Westside Nut Club's Isaiah 117, and that's kind of a unique facility that they've put together. So that what they do is kids that are being taken out of a home, and where social services is trying to position those kids with foster housing and what have you. That's a home for those kids to go, and it basically until that placement happens. One of the board members said it best that they were told by some of the local police that it wouldn't be unlike a child to have to sit several hours or an entire day, in the Evansville Police Department or the Evansville Sheriff's Department. So this is going to allow them to immediately get into an atmosphere that's already caring for their needs and is more closely tied to the social services piece of it. And then another one that comes to mind that is I don't know that this is a new request for the Westside Nut Club, but the Evansville Blind Association, we've granted $25,000. There they had a lot of just repairs to the facility. They had equipment issues. There was a long list of things that made up that $25,000, but so we provided a huge service to that organization. And then there's 100 plus. I think the number was 116. Total requests have been granted so far this year. After this week, there will be a number, not that large, but probably as many as another 50 or 60 grants that have been approved, since the 1st of March. So again, our membership's going to get that opportunity to vote on those requests this week. And lastly, I'd like to say to the membership, guys, thank you. I mean, we're one hell of a strong organization, a great club. And it's an honor. It's an honor to get to represent you here today and be associated with the organization. Thank you.